that the Wizards are last in assists in the NBA, and he's just not getting the ball. Wow. I don't think, or not being fed properly. And then my question: do you think when the Warriors lose that, or let me ask you this: do you think Kerr, being the top earning coach in NBA, is getting out coached in the losses?
I mean, I'll just go to what he said, and he said we lost a bunch of games this year, about a half a dozen that we had a shot at winning, and he said I bear as much of the responsibility for those. I could have made better decisions. Could he have? Probably. I always still think it's about the players, but I mean, nobody's perfect.
I'll take a crack at it, Steiny and caller. He was not 1 out of 10 from 3 like Curry was in the latest example of a game, which was Sunday. But I will say this about Kerr. My only critique is I don't care how good those players are, call timeout. You called the timeout not too long ago, and Curry hit the game winner when Bradley Beal went for the steal. So that would be my biggest critique of Kerr, because that's one of his biggest attributes is plays out of a timeout. Call the timeout, draw up your genius, and let Curry and the rest of the gang execute it. But as far as missing shots, I don't feel comfortable putting that on the coach. Like they were up 16.
I put less on the coach than most people. I'll acknowledge that.
It ain't CYO, Steiny.
I'm more of a player guy.
Do you want them to go to a 1-2-2? You know, like that. That's high school, and this is guys got to go out there and make it happen, man.
All right, let's see if we've got any boxing knowledge. According to the 4-1 about what?
About the boxer.
You don't know.
He's from the city. Him and Shasky.
Yeah, but Shasky's got a greater sense of San Francisco history than Bonte.
I would say it's a tie. They're both great.
Well, they both are.
Look at you trolling.
I am trolling.
Boy, some people will fall for it.
415, most famous, parentheses, recent Bay Area boxers. Tell me if you've heard of them.
All right.
Andre Ward.
Oh, my God. Come on.
This next guy I've heard of. For some Nonito Donaire? The name is familiar.
They say where he's from?
San Leandro.
Okay, what? The Dro.
3, Robert Gilroy. 4, Kareem Mayfield, San Francisco. That's from Tommy Gunn.
Please tell me Devin Haney's on that list. He's from the town.
I don't see Devin Haney. Win a fight first. You got to win a fight first.
He has. Come on now. Devin Haney's a big boy.
Yeah. He just had a fight, didn't he?
Living in Vegas.
Did he win? He had a fight in the last 2 months, I believe.
Yeah, some that he won.
Look at Lucas. Lucas in the studio saying, what are we doing? That's the
director. Call him by his name, his stage name. The director.
Listen, he may be a director, but you know what he still can't do? He can't override an expense report like Nahigian can. Dude. Hey, I'm almost done. I'm almost done with my expense report from Vegas.
I know how you were in class, man. It's bothering me. Evan tried to help you 100 times.
I just got my routing number, and now it's like bank account number. Oh boy. What's that one?
It's on your phone.
Is it on the phone or is it on your credit?
If you go on your phone, if you got online banking, which I'm sure you do.
It's hard to get to.
It'll be right there with your routing number.
Hey, 650, be careful. Gilroy doesn't count. Yes, it does.
Please, let's debate.
Yes, it did.
Yep.
Oh, it's 415. You said San Francisco Boxer Steins. I'll tell you what, I'm still on a high from last night.
No, we can tell. I like it.
Yeah.
Last year, out of gas. You know what? That was negative.
Hey, Evan and I were going over some things, and you were doing something. I'm not sure if you were listening, but you were right next to us, ignoring us, and we started talking about a lot of our conversation from yesterday. You know, championship or bust, this, that, and the other thing. So let me throw this at you. So 2 years ago, the Warriors won the title.
Shocker.
Last year, they went to the second round. Remember their record last year after 56 games?
This is where I wasn't there. I'm going to say 32-24.
28-28.
Come on.
And I want to say that might have been after a 4-game winning streak. I have a vague recollection they were 24-28. I'm not sure. But anyway, they were 28-28 last year.
All right.
This is what I've forgotten. Their championship year, Hey, Sam, let me throw this at you because we all know the answer to this. Sam, can you put your headset on, please? And I'm not doing this to embarrass you. I was way off on it. Sam, what do you think the Warriors' record was 2 years ago? And if you know, you know. 2 years ago when the Warriors won the title after 56 games. This was very, I'd forgotten.
I think it was, my guess was at the 56 games.
53. Give it to 53 us. They won that year.
33 wins, I think, at this point of the year, I would say.
They were 41-15.
Oh, wow.
Damn, man.
We forget. I want to say they started 2 years ago 30-9. Remember they started 18-2.
That I remember.
It might even been better than that at some point.
41. You were destined to. They won the title before they won the title. That was the message.
So let me throw this at Warrior fans. You're 29-27 this year. You were 28-28 last year. The year before, you were 41-15. Does this team resemble last year's team more or the championship team more?
Wow.
Or are they somewhere smack dab in the middle? See, I think, well, go ahead. You can answer.
Okay, because I'm going to use what just happened this morning with Andrew Wiggins and him being out for personal reasons. I just am. So, Steiny, I'm going to never in that championship season was it as ugly as it was the first 20 games this year. So I'm going to give you my answer and say this mirrors last year. The connectivity, which was an issue, and I thought was out. All the residue was out, Steiny. I'm a bit concerned until Thursday when Andrew Wiggins comes back. But with what happened today and him not being in there and the little tea leaves that are going on with the Jordan pool and, him and Jordan being good friends or best friends, him not being in, I don't like that. I'll leave that there. But to answer your question, my friend, it mirrors last year.
Uncle Looney brings up a point, and I knew this, Uncle Loon. The Celtics, the year that they went to the finals, they were like 21-21 after 42 games. I remember that. And come to think of it, maybe that's why the Warriors, if you remember 2 years ago, they were 18-2, they were 41-15, then they leveled off, and then remember what happened. And to me, it was a big deal, and I think it really helped them. Curry missed the last month of the season.
I used to hate that, but I get it.
I think we can all look back and now say, boy, that didn't hurt him at all.
The battery were charged.
No doubt. And not only that, he comes off the bench against Denver. They go through a grueling 6-week playoff. And who was the best player in that series at the end of that series? Steph Curry.
Man.
Steph Curry. Maybe there's something to be said for load management. Let's go to Joe in Concord. Hey, Joe, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I realize you guys changed the subject, but a couple of quick.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned a while ago Donaire.
Yeah, Nonita.
He was bad-ass. If you get a chance, watch his videos. I think he had a brother, too, who was really good. Underrated. I thought he could have been a champion. He might have been a champion.
What division was he? What division was he? Do you know?
I want to say he weighed about 130, somewhere in there.
All right.
The guy was incredible. He reminded me of the other Pacquiao, but a little skinnier.
So you got a good story about Duran and Irish Pat Lawler?
Yeah, I was in Burlingame back in the mid-'90s probably. I had a little band playing at this club, and then in comes Duran with a couple other dudes. And he was having a fight that Friday, I think. And it was Lawler. And I went to go meet him. Duran was really cool. And then I just said, hey, aren't you supposed to be training? And then he raises his beer and says, this is my training this week.
Wow.
Interesting.
Having one, the Suns.
Then, he got his butt kicked, by the way.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked a lot to Irish Pat Lawler last night about Jerry Quarry. Jerry Quarry. I'll tell you what, that
Another victim of Lawler's?
No, Jerry Quarry was a heavyweight.
Oh, okay.
Jerry Quarry was
I don't remember that name.
Damn good fighter. But he happened to be fighting in the same era as Frazier and Foreman.
Well, that's why.
Norton.
Yeah.
Quarry, I want to say, beat Kenny Norton in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken.
Ken Norton Sr.
But Jerry Quarry was known to, like, he bled a little bit. He could bleed with the best of them.
Yeah.
Not like Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne bleeder. But Quarry's face used to swell up, and it used to look terrible, and they'd stop fights, and he'd be like, "What are you doing? I'm fine."
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, you're not. You're losing blood.
Bonte Hill saying Donaire is called the Filipino Flash.
That is sick. The Filipino Flash.
The 415 saying Donaire was 118. Could you imagine?
Oh, it's built like a rock.
Thinking you got a guy 118
Steiny.
coming on, and you're like, look at this guy. 118.
He would knock me out.
He better be careful.
No doubt
No,
about it.
you better be careful.
Well, it was 118 at the weigh-in. Like, that's the thing. Fighters always make the weight, and then by the time they actually get to the fight, they're a little bit bigger than when they stepped on the scale.
Man.
Well, it's like me, if I can fast for 36 hours, you lose a couple pounds.
Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, not me.
I actually did it yesterday.
36?
Would I have a meal Sunday, dinner, and then yesterday I didn't really eat a lot.
You had some calories.
Fasting, though, usually means
I got you. No doubt. You were eating
Fasting's
something
usually
else.
just not
Calories.
I
mean, let's be honest. Before UFC was even around, when we were in Vegas at Radio Row, Banyas, Texas, too, I'll tell you what it said.
Oh, boy.
Looking
I love you, Mark.
Lowe's guy,
which one? Oh, Chuck Liddell?
It was almost like he was a pit bull. Like, I was sizing him up, Steiny, like, this dude fight to the death. Just in a regular fight. I didn't want them problems. That's why I was telling you and Evan, be on good behavior, man. This dude still got it.
See, I'm a firm believer in, like, guys like that who are really, really legit. They're not going to mess with a guy like me.
But
they may mess with a guy like you.
We'll call you a civilian. Yeah, us a civilian.
Like,
but, man, they rip us apart, man.
Well, they'd rip you apart. See, I'm smart enough to get out of a fight. You're not going to back down like me.
I done took a few L's.
I'm meek.
Yeah.
When the chips are down, I ain't going to be there.
Okay.
I ain't going to be here.
Me and Call, we found out.
Wait, what?
With the usher thing and the hotel room. Nobody remembers.
Oh.
Yeah. Ibanez is mad at us. Just ask me why.
How come?
He wants giant baseball talk. I said, not yet. I thought it was a little early, Mark. We got you, baby. I am excited. I'm watching more spring baseball than I have.
You know what? Evan and I watched some of that Giants game yesterday.
Dude, I'm in.
Here's the problem, Mark.
Talk to him.
With spring training baseball is you're down in Arizona. The air's thin. The ball travels. You just get a skewed view of this team.
Oh,
it's just not.
boy.
You don't get You don't get any kind of accurate idea of what a team is in spring training.
And we got a Pasoy problem in the club.
It's like
anymore.
It's the old Jim Murray. You think you know, but you'll never know. I like the Soler pickup.
Yeah, we all do. I'll say this.
Enough of baseball.
Yeah, but one thing about baseball.
Yeah.
I hope Bob Myers is not listening because he didn't like my bucket list of playing in the celebrity game or coaching.
You want to be an umpire?
No, I want to go to spring training. That's on my bucket list, man. The weather, like right now, you said Cali. I'd take it to Arizona, right? AZ. Have you been?
Oh, yeah.
I know Evan has.
I went about 20. When was Evan?
No, go ahead.
Well, why'd you do that? Yeah, I'm a little older than you. So what, do you want to stick it to me every time I go to the past? When were Tony Gwynn's kind of last years in San Diego?
I made the World Series in 98, so late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, so I was probably there in the late 90s.
So you experienced it. Sun out, guns out.
But apparently it's much different now. It's much more crowded. It's
activity.
And I've told this story before. When we went to spring training, I think it was in Scottsdale, we were watching Giants-Padres game. Gwynn played right field, right?
Yeah.
And in the right field, at this stadium that we were at, in right field, they had a lawn, like on an incline, so you could take a blanket out with beers. And
picturing it right now.
At that time, we in between pitches, you'd be like, Tony! And he'd turn around and acknowledge you. And I'll never forget, he had his back to us, but in between pitches, we would just shout the names
That's awesome.
of major league players. and he would give us the thumbs up, thumbs down,
man.
or we'd say Don Mattingly, and he would be like thumbs up.
Come on, Steiny.
He should be a Hall of Famer. And I can't remember the guy we said, but one guy we were like, I don't know, like
give me the you got to remember
Thurman Munson.
Give us Thurman Munson, and he's like,
oh,
he'd give you the shake, like maybe not.
Now that's a dope ass story.
Yeah, he was a lot, but I guess it's kind of not like that anymore because it's a little more corporate, a little more crowded.
Only the young guys really interact with the fans. Like someone like Tony Gwynn, who would probably around that time be in his late 30s, like obviously a Hall of Famer. Those guys don't interact with the fans much anymore.
Man,
or not most of them.
Right.
Yeah, we got you, Mark. Just hold tight. It's about the Warriors.
Yep. When's opening day?
April.
Yeah, nobody knows specifically, do they? Not even Evan.
Actually,
but I mean, Evan's
they're going to open
the quote unquote baseball guy.
First week of April.
What about Giddings posting his high school clippings yesterday?
I didn't see those.
4 scoreless innings. I was reading. I was like, let me see my boy. Evan, I'm proud of you, baby.
March 28th, by the way. It's actually early this year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Had a good day. Tough day for South San Francisco, I'll tell you that.
Oh, this wasn't at Willamette?
No, this was like my buddy sent me this from the East Bay Times in like 2004 or 5 or
crazy
something.
You were too busy at a concert.
Yes, I was.
You know, it's kind of like saying you lose track of how many all-star teams you're on when you're younger. So it's just one of those type of things.
Oh, I know.
Yep, I do too.
I know. One thing that was cool, not for nothing, but you guys know that I went back east for my dad's memorial. My mom had kept all his scrapbooks from like the 50s and 60s when he coached and played. It was wild.
Did you bring some home?
No, they stay there. Right. They stay there. But you know what? Pops was all right.
And he was people knew of Rev Steiny. Come on now.
He played Division II.
And he loved the game. State. Where?
Kutztown State University. Wow. That's where Andre Reed went. Remember? We were talking about that. And he was making fun of because and Larry Allen also. Oh, no, he was Sonoma State.
Sonoma. Bench 700 pounds.
He's a cowboy.
Yeah, hello.
888-957-9570 is the number. We're going to have some fun today. Not as much fun as the boss thinks we're going to have, because whenever he thinks we're going to have too much fun, he always worries.
Dude, I just busted in his office this morning. The door was closed. It was all bad.
You don't give the...
Pause.
You don't give the...
No, there was some ceremony going on before.
I know, but you still got to go like this.
Yeah, I had my hands full with my luggage and all that stuff.
Because you'll interrupt the Zoom call without even thinking about it.
Wow.
Warriors Wizards tonight. By the way, seriously, what's the timing on Warriors Live? 2:30?
3
o'clock.
Tip off at 4.
Look at Willard and Dibbs. Oh, they like this week. They like this week. So Willard and Dibbs, wait a minute, they're not even going to be here today. Willard and Dibbs probably won't even come in today.
They're probably
sick. An hour.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they'll come in or maybe...
See, they're dedicated. You would probably be like, you don't want to see it, huh?
I don't. No Andrew Wiggins tonight.
Personal reasons. I got PTSD.
What if I told you, Goo, that kind of bothers me too?
Do you know why?
No, of course not. Nobody knows why.
Because every time we get burnt thinking it's just a one-off.
Steve Kerr knows probably, but
yeah,
I don't. See, when I look at the Warriors, and I'm interested to know what Warrior fans think of this. Okay, so last year, everything went wrong, right?
Totally. And they still made the playoff.
You had the punch. We could go up and down the line. Myers was a lame duck.
Wiggins
went AWOL. The punch. There was some other stuff, too. Oh, Clay was extremely up and down. He had a couple great months, but he had some bad months. Do you feel like this year, Warrior fans, the issues of last year are all behind this team? Or does it feel like more of an extent? Because now you can look and say, well, this has been essentially, five games over 500 the last year, and the last 140 games. Does it feel like the same kind of year as last year, or do you feel a little more optimistic, Warrior fans? Because remember, at this time last year, like they had a lot going on, and we all knew. I remember, Goo, you'd be like, you think they can make a run? I'm like, it just doesn't feel like they're together. Remember I said agendas. Yeah. There's too many agendas last year. Warrior fans, does this team still have agendas, do you think? And we don't have to use that strong a word. How connected is this team right now? Do they feel on a scale of 1 to 10, Warrior fans, like they're connected and they can make a run at this thing?
Here we go. Up until this morning with this Andrew Wiggins news, I would say, Steiny, they are connected more so than they have been in a long time, and that's why they were able to get off the mat and get past this early, turbulence of a season. So there's already progress there. But again, I keep going to Andrew Wiggins being out tonight, and I could be totally wrong, but now I'm wondering if step is seeping. Is there some residue?
Well, let's just assume, just for the sake of that Wiggins has an ankle injury.
Okay, then I would answer they are connected.
Don't put Wiggins one game personal thing.
I got you. They are connected, then, my friend, because you don't turn this season around in the manner that they have up until this point without being connected, Steiny. Let's keep that real.
Yeah, they're not anything close to where they were 2 years ago, I don't think.
Well, you didn't ask me that one.
Oh.
You said last year.
Yeah, I'd say they're better than last year, but not as good as 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But they're
collateral damage sometimes. You can it'll never be the same type of